for fans by a fan.
Watch out!
A wrestling podcast for the casual and hardcore. Tweener Wrestling.
He's got the fans behind him, King, and his opponent had better watch out.
Nia Jax is back and Becky is big time again. That is what we're talking about on today's episode, season 2, episode 7, Tweener Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Memphian. We're going to dive into that just a little bit. But before we do, like I always say, if you're watching this on YouTube and you dig the content once it's over with, go ahead and give me a sub, a like, and your opinion in the comments. Also, if you're listening to this on whatever podcast platform, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever you're listening to me on, go ahead and rate the podcast and leave a review. Now, I just want to say this also. Check out my YouTube shorts, because that's where it's popping at for real. Like, my highest rated video is at about 25K on YouTube shorts. And I want to say on average, I hit around 6K to 14K on YouTube shorts. So I might actually be taking more of a focus on YouTube shorts. So go ahead and check that out as well. And let's get into this episode. Let's go. All right. So we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw. Not talking about the episode, just talking about that one highlight that we are all here for. And that is the, I don't know how to say this shit. Is it the irresistible force? The immovable force? I think it's the irresistible force. I feel like that's wrong. Y'all correct me in the comments, please. Don't kill me, just correct me. The irresistible force, Nia Jax is back. Am I happy about it? I'm not happy or I'm not mad, to be honest. Let me take a swig of this Rip It energy drink. Y'all really need to sponsor me, because I feel like I've been drinking this since 2012 and I'm the only person. But anyway, I'm not happy, I'm not mad. Here's my opinion on that whole situation. So it started with the Rhea Ripley versus Raquel rematch from Payback, WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. The match was actually good. I want to say they were in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. And if they not, forgive me again. Y'all can correct me in the comments. I want to say they were in Virginia. That crowd was super dead, bro, because if like the program between Rhea and Rodriguez is already a mid program anyway, but the crowd could have did a little bit better, because that match was actually better than I expected. I like Raquel, but at the same time, I can't stand wrestlers that smile a lot, and I'm pretty sure that someone in creative told her that she needs to become more aggressive, show a little bit more attitude, and that's why that was kind of a promoted thing within the rivalry that they created, like her being more aggressive and more, having that attitude, versus being there smiling. Like, you too fucking big to be smiling. Like, you can really kick some ass. I'm gonna need you to do that. That's why I never really like wrestlers like her, Ricochet, Apollo Crews. Like, that smiling shit, like, it's corny and cringy. But anyway, the program was already mid because of that. And the match was very, very good. The crowd could have had some "this is awesome" chants, or they could have sold it a little bit more to bring more energy to that match, but they did not. So what I'm getting to is Nia Jax's return during the match, attacking Raquel first, and then Rhea capitalizing off of that and taking the pin after the Riptide, which we all love the Riptide and the pin motion after the Riptide. Ended the match. Raquel retained. Nia attacked Raquel after the match. Now, two things that's weird about that situation, and I'll just say this quickly and go on to the next. Number one is typically when you have people interfere in a match, the referee is somewhat distracted. Like, someone's holding him. We know Dirty Dom was banned from ringside, but there were no distractions. So the ref clearly saw Raquel get attacked by Nia and did nothing. Didn't throw her out. Didn't even go over there to pretend like he cared. Like, hey, get out of here. What are you doing here? Excuse me. He didn't do anything, but I'm pretty sure the ref saw because he was not distracted by Rhea or no one else. So I can't remember if the match was a falls count anywhere. Not falls count anywhere. A no disqualification, but I highly doubt it. So that's number one. Number two, after Raquel lost the match because of Nia Jax, in most situations, you would think that Raquel would slide back in the ring, attack Nia, or confront Nia at least, and push her. What are you doing? You just cost me a title match. Blah, 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 right? Raquel loses and just walks away. Like, you literally see her just walk away and leave the ringside. Like, she just leaves, which leaves Nia, Rhea their confrontation. We all know what happened. Rhea got the beat down, which in reality, I really feel like Nia would fold Nia Jax's ass. But for purposes of the storyline, Nia beats down Rhea Ripley, and she really just puts her statement out there that she's here, and of course she's coming for the title. So I like it because of this. I'm assuming at the next event, the next pay-per-view event, PLE, whatever, that it's going to be Nia. It's going to be three giants: Nia, Rhea, Raquel, which has the potential to be a great match, but not like a match of the night type candidate, because to me, Nia is still a little bit behind the curve on wrestling, her in-ring ability, but I don't blame her because of her size. She just, to me, I just feel like, oh, she's back now, somebody about to get hurt, you know, because that's what her MO is. That's what she's kind of known for. So I'm a little bit fearful for Rhea, because I was just waiting for a botch moment for her to hurt Rhea. But that rivalry between Rhea and Raquel, I'm not sure they're gonna end it. But if they don't end it and they just insert in Nia Jax into it, it needed it, because that shit was like mid and it needed something. This does give it more. Now, could they have brought somebody else back instead of Nia Jax? I'm thinking, who could they have brought back? Let me know in the comments as I think in my mind who they could have brought back that would have been a bigger energy, gave more energy to that rivalry. Because that Raquel and Rhea, as soon as they got into it, I knew that shit was gonna be mid. Give me somebody, because we can't do Alexa because she having a baby. Give me somebody. We ain't gonna waste too much time on it, but I'm really trying to think. Give me somebody. Give me. We got Nikki Cross, but that's not really. I don't know exactly where Liv Morgan is. I can't remember if Liv Morgan and Rhea have already did their rivalry, but you could have sold it as like Rhea and Liv part 2, part 3, whatever, like that, like the final confrontation between the two. You could have did that. So like, yeah, Liv Morgan. I would have liked to see, like, I think Liv Morgan would have got a bigger pop than Nia Jax. But yeah, Liv Morgan, I'm not sure exactly where she is. If she's on injury, please let me know that in the comments as well. But yeah, like if it was Liv Morgan or something, but I don't dislike Nia Jax. That rivalry definitely needed some type of energy insertion. And I'm glad we got it. So is Nia gonna take the title off of Rhea? Fuck no. I don't even know when Rhea is gonna lose that title. Like, when is Rhea gonna lose? Like, the only person I can see her losing to, and y'all gonna burn me when I say this shit, is when they ready to give Charlotte Flair another title reign. That's when Rhea's gonna lose, whenever they're ready. I mean, she took the title off of Charlotte. So whenever they're ready, because I truly believe that Charlotte is gonna eventually break her dad's record. The fuck is it? 16 or 15 for Ric Flair. I think it's 16. I don't remember, because I think John Cena is 15, or maybe he's 14 and Ric Flair is 15. I don't know, but Charlotte is gonna eventually break her dad's record, and I want to say she's 2 or 3 title reigns away from it. And with women, they typically don't wrestle 2 decades like some men. People like Randy Orton and John Cena and Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle did. Like, they typically don't wrestle 2 decades. They typically wrestle anywhere between 8 to 12 years. So most people might say, like, why is Charlotte constantly getting these belts so quickly and so, you know, and all the time? Is because I think they're trying to cram it into what the average length of a woman's career is. And for her to have that to be her dad's record, you got to fire it off real quick. So I think that's when Rhea is actually going to lose. I think Charlotte is going to take the title off of Rhea. And, but yeah, that's what we need. We needed some type of insertion of somebody to make this damn rivalry pretty more, a little bit more interesting. And the women in general, bro, they've been on the come up, and y'all gonna hear me give them more praise in the next segment with Becky Lynch. I guess we here for it now. I guess we living in the moment. Big Time Bex is back. Becky Lynch is a Grand Slam champ. Becky Lynch is your NXT Women's Champ. And we got two sides of the story. We got folks that are saying, why would they bury Tiffany? We got people that saying Becky Lynch deserves it and it's a hell of an accomplishment. Where am I in it? This is Tweener Wrestling Podcast. So the reason why I call it Tweener Wrestling, because the definition of a tweener is you're typically a bad person, but the crowd loves you, or you're typically a good person, but the crowd hates you. So that's a tweener. You're just in between. You're not bad. You're not heel. You're not face. So I'm kind of always in the middle in most of these situations. Do I hate that Becky Lynch is the champion? No, not really. Do I love it? No, not really. I mean, do I think they buried Tiffany? Initially, the first 10 seconds, I was like, why they do that to my girl? Because when I tell you, Tiffany, when I first saw her sex appeal initially caught me. Yes, I'm a guy. Sex appeal typically catches my eye. But then that's before I saw her wrestle. And then I was like, oh, she's kind of like a more advanced Mandy Rose in the ring. So I'm like, okay, you got my attention a little bit more, but I still don't care about Tiffany. And then within the last, I would say 3 to 4 months, Tiffany Stratton out of nowhere. This is after Nikita Lyons kind of went away and Cora Jade kind of fizzled down as well. Because I was more of their fan. And Wendy Chu, I don't know what the fuck happened to her. I was more of their fans. And then they kind of fizzled away and went away. And then Tiffany just skyrocketed into like my top 5 favorite women in wrestling. It's Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, no particular order. Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and who's number 5? Give me one more. But it's mainly those 4. Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. Toni Storm is actually kind of with this new Marilyn Monroe persona, and I might have to do a separate video of the women of AEW as well, because they having an uprising as well too. So Toni Storm is actually kind of getting to me now. So we just gonna put her at number 5 to not waste time. But Becky Lynch is back big time. Now, here is the good thing about it, because I honestly don't think there's anything bad I can say about it, because they're not burying Tiffany Stratton if this is what happens. If this does not happen, what I'm about to say, then I would say, yeah, they're probably burying her, or unintentionally burying her, because a lot of people are saying like she just should be happy that she got the publicity and the TV time with Becky Lynch, a future Hall of Famer. So I think that, of course, so Rhea is tied up on Raw with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, and I heard that they're just trying to keep Becky and Rhea away from each other at the moment and let Rhea have her run. That's cool. I understand that. But like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. I think the next NXT pay-per-view is NXT No Mercy, and I don't think Becky Lynch has a match yet, because she just won 2 days ago, and this video was actually supposed to come out the day after, but I got pissed off, and anyway. So we 2 days late on this video. If she does not have a match, I would hope that WWE would give Tiffany a rematch, and that she would lose in that rematch in a bad way. In a bad way to where it doesn't hurt her. And when I say bad way, I mean with like an interference, or like somebody inserting themselves into their rivalry. I can't remember who Tiffany was into it with before Becky Lynch, but like if that person would come back, insert themselves into the rivalry between Tiffany and Becky, which will make it carry on to the next event, to where Tiffany and Becky and whoever have a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship, and then Tiffany wins again. Or that's like my number 2 thing. Number 1 is just they go to No Mercy, Tiffany beats Becky Lynch. And if Tiffany Stratton beat Becky Lynch, you can put that bitch on a shirt. And I don't mean her as a bitch. I mean like you can put that on a shirt, like I beat Becky. Or something like that. Like it's kind of like I think somebody beat Kurt Angle back in the Ruthless Aggression era and put that shit on the shirt, or John Cena. You know how people like gloat when they beat the Undertaker, like when Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker and they had like merch and stuff all behind Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker. I feel like if WWE has plans for Tiffany Stratton to beat Becky Lynch and get her title back, that would do more for her, instead of her just being in the match with Becky and she never gets it again, and then she gets a regular call up and then she goes from there. She needs to regain that title. Now, the triple threat match that I pitched at first, I would assume that if they do that, they're not going to have her pin Becky Lynch in that match. They're going to have her pin whomever else is in the match to regain her title. That's cool. She'll be back on top, but if she beats Becky and Becky counts the lights for her, which I believe that if they gave that to Becky, if creative came to Becky and pitched that, I really honestly believe that Becky would put Tiffany over. I really believe she'll be okay with it and she'll count the lights for Tiffany. That would do so much for that young lady's career. And it would definitely put the jetpack on her. And if she beats Becky, I need to see her come in the the next WWE draft. I need her to get drafted. If she beats Becky, I need her to have that title all the way to the next draft, get drafted, drop the title after the draft, and then just go from there. Because to me, she already got it. Now, she's kind of like, and I talked about this in my last top 10 video, episode 6. Go ahead and check that out. Top 10 women I see on the rise. And when I say the rise, I mean that'll be on top within the next 2 to 5 years. Tiffany Stratton was like number 2 on the list, I believe, of my top 10. So check that video out. I know you guys will like it. But Tiffany has 2 things going for her that I think like where she kind of stands out. Number 1, she's kind of classic. And when I say classic, the WWE Divas era is long gone. That shit over with. That shit washed, because the women are just such, they're on like a whole nother plateau right now. The women now, like they're WWE lollipop divas that are just there to be looked at and not really taken serious in the ring. You know, most of their matches back then were like bathroom breaks type matches. Tiffany has the look, appeal of a diva. However, she has a better in-ring ability than the divas back then. So to me, Tiffany is like, this is putting a lot on it, but she's almost like a modern day Trish Stratus, because she's not crazy good in the ring. She's not a Rhea or a Asuka or Charlotte or Bayley in the ring. Bayley's not that good, but anyway, she's not them in the ring, but she has enough ring ability to where she's not like a Eva Marie or like how bad Lana was and shit like that. So those are the 2 things she got going for her. She has the diva look, but she also is better in the ring than the divas was. And people might say like, well, how is that something good if the diva era is over with? She can use that to her advantage. Her being the prettiest. Now, I don't think she's the prettiest, but I'm just saying as a gimmick. She can use that as a gimmick, like the prettiest princess or whatever like that. Like the you know, she can use that as her gimmick, since she'll be in a room full of anti-divas basically. But I like her. Back to Becky Lynch. Like I said, Grand Slam Beck. I don't know after this what's next for her. I need to look up to see what pay-per-view event it is coming up, because I want to say the next major event is Survivor Series, but I gotta look into that because I'm not 100% sure. Which, if it's Survivor Series, I don't even think, if Becky's the champion, I don't even think she'll be on the card if it's Survivor Series, because I'm assuming they're gonna do Rhea versus whoever the WWE Women's Champion is, and unless they just insert Becky in a random triple threat match with them. But big kudos to Beck. The match was good, very good. Neither, like, Becky didn't have to carry Tiffany. Tiffany didn't have to do like anything extra. She just stayed herself. The rivalry was nicely built. It was kind of a short rivalry, short notice rivalry, but I'm hoping that it's just a continuation that's going to lead to No Mercy and eventually lead to Tiffany getting the belt back and Becky giving her the rub and them putting a bigger jetpack on Tiffany to help her make it to the top. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. And with that being it, we are at the end of today's episode, season 2, episode 7. Jax is back in Becky Grand Slam. Now, for the past 2 episodes, I have been doing Fix My Wrestler, and I said that I was going to do that at the end of every single episode. Now, I'm going to stop that because I got another idea that might stick a little bit more. Since my YouTube shorts have been really taking off and I get hella views from my YouTube shorts and my TikTok, Tweener Wrestling Podcast on TikTok, the Fix My Wrestler segment is going to be exclusively on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And it's just going to be very quick and I'm going to run through it. I'm probably going to start that next week. And initially, the wrestler I was going to do was Chad Gable. We did Karrion Kross, we did Ricochet. But Chad Gable at the moment is getting a very good push, so he no longer needs to be on the episode of Fix My Wrestler. So the next person on Fix My Wrestler will be somebody I can't think of at the moment, but follow me on Instagram, Tweener Wrestling Podcast as well, and I will announce it later on today who would be on the next episode of Fix My Wrestler. Also, stay tuned for the next episode of my podcast, which it most likely will be an AEW episode. And then the episode after that, I am going to bring in a peer of mine, whatever. I've never used that word in a sentence. A peer of mine, and we are going to conduct a draft. Now, it's either going to be a all WWE draft or we are going to do a joint WWE and AEW draft, and we're gonna let you guys rank who won the draft. All right, so until next time, man, like I said, if you guys dig the content, please, I would greatly appreciate it. Give me a sub, give me a like, drop some comments on YouTube, and I would greatly appreciate it if you're not watching on YouTube and you just listening to me on whatever podcast platform that you rate the podcast, and if you got time, rate it. Give it a review as well after you rate it. All right. I will see you guys next time. Much love.